Hello students, I hope you have seen last videos. In this video, you have to learn about the communication network. So let's start it. There are the formal network models and informal network models of the communication networks. The formal network of models are chain network, Y network, wheel network, circle network, and all channel networks. So it's the one type of communication network in every organization or every firm have the particular type of networks model. So let's learn about it one by one. There are the formal network models. First one is a chain network. Chain network is the combination of horizontal and vertical flow of network. Direct line of authority communication. There are the chain network is usually used in the organizations which are working formally at that time. They have follow this chain network. Chain network is the one type of combination for the horizontal communication and the vertical flow of communication, which you have to study in last video. That horizontal flow is working at the similar level of management or similar level of the communication and authorities, and vertical network flow is working at the line authority, means the higher authority in the company has the CEO, then after manager, then after there are the foremen and the jobbers. So there are the models for the chain communication is that higher authority, then after higher authority is the one person who has to start this, that the higher authority is here, and then after one by one they communicate to each other from the line communication to the horizontal and vertical communication from CEO to the foreman. So it's a one type of formal network. Then after Y network. Y network is the combination of horizontal and vertical flow of network and the multi-level pattern. So there are the two subordinate reporting the one senior. So it's called the Y network. This type of networks are available in the multinational firms when there are the number of firms working at the different nations at that time. They have the one single headquarter, so they have to report their communication or regarding the report to their seniors. Here the model of this, that if the if here is the main authority, if main authority is CEO, then after here is a manager, and then after supervisor. So if we take the example that here is a a is a one type of, we can say, employee, and B is an employee. So A and B both have to report their views or report their feedbacks to their supervisor. Then supervisor give the information to manager, and manager give the information to CEO. So here the one example of this, of the formal network. This formal network is working very efficiently when there are the different departments are available, and there are the one authority who has managed this supervise manage these employees. Then after is the will network. Will network is self-stated that the several subordinates reporting to one senior. So it's called the will network. Combination of horizontal and diagonal flow is called the all subordinates are at the equal level. In the will network, there are the number of subordinates are working and they have to report only one senior. So it's called the will network. Will network is very important when your firm, your organization is working at the different level and they have the communication channels. At that time, will network is very important. So let's see the diagram of will network. Here you can see that take the example that take example here is a person, then after B and C and D. There are the four employees who working at the same organization and they have to report the person like P. So there are the will network. Will network is working on the basis of the different departments. When organization have the various department, at that time single authority is working very usefully because single authority is gave the common command and given the unity of command and unity of responsibility. So formal network model is considered the will model. So in the will model you can see that ABCD there are the persons or employees who are working here and the P is the manager or we can say that the higher authority who has working as their superior. Then after circle network. Circle network is self-stated that all employees interact with only the adjust with the member, that the combination of vertical and horizontal flow. Let's look the diagram. In the circle network, the all employees are interactively connected so they can exchange their ideas, their views each other. In the circle network, it's a very important, we can say that easily communicate way is the easily communication way and is only useful for the multinational firms and the organizations, and we can also take the example that the scientific management institutions, research institutions also using this type of circle network because when one person have doing some research regarding the any product, regarding the any activities, then after they have to follow or they can communicate their information with the others. Like take example in the circle network, if one department have get some idea regarding or knowledge, like take the example any scientific institution, like you can also take the example of NASA, you can also take the example of Indian technological universities. So they can use this type of we can say circle network. So in the circle network they can easily communicate each other and they can communicate their ideas, their views, their knowledges. So the overall development of the project and the overall development of the organization is very high. In this circle network, one benefit is considering that if any problem is detected, that any department or any business has a sometime they have faced some problem, so if they communicate with the another department, so they can easily solve their problems. So it's a one type of circle network. Then after all channel network, which is the last type of formal network model, that combination of the all flow of communication. In the last video lecture you have learned about the flow of communication like downward communication, upward communication, horizontal communication and diagonal communication. The combination of all of four, like in the organization they can follow the downward communication, upward communication, horizontal communication flow, diagonal communication flow. So it's called the all channel network communication. Unable to each the employees to communicate freely with others. In the all channel network communication, employees can easily communicate or freely communicate to each other, because in the Y channel network, or we can say in the Y channel, there are some there in this network, one is a superior or one is an employer or a higher authority. At that time, some employees cannot freely discuss their problems with them. But if they follow all channel flow, so they can easily communicate their problems, their ideas with the other peoples, with their employees, with their colleagues, with their employers. So easily they can find out the problem's solution. Then after, no restrictions. In the all flow channel network, they can follow the horizontal communication flow as well as the vertical communication flow, as well as they also follow the diagonal communication flow. So in this communication flow, there cannot have any restrictions, any rules, any regulations for the higher authorities and for the lower authorities. So easily and freely they can exchange their ideas, their views. Then everybody's views are equally and openly shared. If any organization is follow the downward communication flow or upward communication flow, at that time some employees who have working at the lower level or who are working at the middle level management or middle level of the organization, at that time they have some brilliant ideas, they have some, we can say, the innovative ideas, problem solving ideas, but they cannot discuss to other because it's a downward communication, or maybe the we can say they have the scare, or they cannot have this type of authority to share their views or their knowledges. So all channel flow, or we can say all channel network, is a very important at that time, because there are the person who have working at the lower level or the higher level or middle level, they can easily communicate, they can easily follow their views, easily communicate their views with the others. So it's a one type of, we can say, the equally share, or we can say openly share flow. So all channel network is also very important in the organization. Here is the diagram of this all channel network. In this you can see that in this network you can see that here the horizontal communication flow, and here is the vertical communication flow, and all of this have internally connected to each other, so they can also follow the diagonal flow. So then and then we call this that the all channel network. Then after, informal network models. First one we have to learn that the formal networks, then after the informal network models. So in the informal network models, there are the types are single stand, gossips, probability, and clusters. So let's learn it one by one. First one, there are the single stand. Means what? The message is passed from one person to another along the single stand. Means the communication is done by one person, then the one person is tell the information to another person, and another person tell the information or the any communication with the another person. So it's a one type of, we can say, the single stand. There are not any group, not any other persons are considering it, so it's a single stand model. combination of horizontal and vertical flow, and flow is in the one direction. You can see here that in this diagram you can see that A is given the information to B. Then after B give the information to the C employee. Then C employee is given the information to D, and D is given the information to the Y person. So you can see that the communication is done from one person, means A to B, B to C, C to D, and D to Y. And the combination of this communication is considered in the one flow, means from down to up, or we can say from bottom to up level communication. So it's a one type of informal network, because in this network they cannot follow any channel. They can singly stand, or in this model A person may be the from purchase department, B person may be from the communication department, C person may be from sales department, D person may be from HR department, and Y person may be executive. So it's a one type of informal network model, or so we can say that's a one type of single stand, means there is a no any other persons are conducted in this communication. Then after, gossip network, information from one person to all other persons. One way communication in this gossip network, no feedback, and for example that TV or radio broadcasting. So there are the gossips network. Here is the diagram of the gossip network. You can see here that A is a person, or we can say A is a person who started gossip, and then after A is communicates this gossip to B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, and K. So it's a gossips is start from A, and A is communicate this gossip or this information to all another persons. So it's called the gossip network. In this gossip network, there are the one way communication. A is given the information to all of these members, and A cannot get these feedbacks, or I cannot get any feedback from them. So it's a one type of no feedback and one way communication network. Like take the example of TV and radio and broadcasting. In the TV and radio, you can hear or you can get the information regarding any you can get the information regarding organization, regarding companies, regarding Bollywoods. Okay, so it's a one type of, we can say, one way communication. We cannot communicate directly with them, but we can get the information from them. So it's TV, radio, and broadcasting. There are the one way communication and informal models of communication. So they can communicate their information at the one time to all of the another peoples. So it's a one type of gossip network. And TV firms cannot get any feedback from us. So it's a one type of gossip network. Then after, probability network. Each person tells other at the random. So it's a one type of probability. Probability means in the Gujarati you can say that the sunshine. Okay. Probability means not defined, means in the communication they cannot define or they cannot clear about the way, but they can tell to other person at the randomly. Okay, they cannot clear about the communication, they cannot clear about the information, but they can tell randomly at any person. So it's called the probability. In this probability, there are the network, there are no any feedback, they cannot use or they cannot get the feedbacks from others. For example, information share in class by any teacher means the teacher can give the information regarding the examination, regarding the presentations, regarding your syllabus. So it's a one type of probability network. Then the numbers of receivers are not fixed. In the probability network, teacher gave the information in the class that there are the 60 students are sitting there, but how many students are get this information, they cannot idea about this, means number of receivers is not fixed. There are the diagram, or we can say the network or model of this probability network. In this network you can see that here is the A is given to information, and A is get the information is given to D. Then D cannot given the information to anybody, but F is get this communication information, and then he is given the information to K and G, but E and C cannot get the information, and H and X get the information. So it's a one type of probability network, means in this network receiver can get the communication information, or may cannot get the communication information. So it's a one type of, we can say, randomly, means in this network there are not fixing any person, that the person is given the information to another person, another person given the information to third person, but it's a one type of probability network. Then after, cluster network. Cluster network means what? Cluster network is the one type of chain in which some people tell or selected few of others, means flow in the one direction. Here is the one diagram of this cluster model, is that in this you can see that here is cluster means you can use that the group, that A is given the information to C, D and F. Then after, F given the information to I and B. Then B is given the information to J. So it's a one type of cluster, means a group. A given the information to C, D and F, who are the member of his group. Then after, F given the information to B and I, who are the member of their his or her group. Then B is given the information to J, who is the person, or we can say the contact person of this person. So it's a one type of cluster network. So here you can see that there are the main types of informal network and the formal networks. So you can easily understood this. So it's a very important for your examination also. So you can see this video, and if you have any doubt, so then contact me personally. Informal network and formal networks, there are mostly used in the organization. So I hope you can understand this. Thank you so much.